to be answering some of your questions. I asked those of you who are subscribed to me on Patreon to ask me whatever questions you want, and now I'm going to answer them. Alright. James asks, do you have any projects, poems, videos, stories, etc. that you really want to do but haven't started? Something that I've been really wanting to do has been getting into sewing and like making my own clothes. I bought a sewing machine and a bunch of fabric, but I haven't really dove into it as much as I would like to, so hopefully I'll start doing that soon. Eric J asks, do you have any pets or like to get one? I have a cat named Toki. He's a Russian blue. He's my baby boy and I love him. The Man in Black asks, if Belle is able to love the Beast, do you think you would be able to love a pizza monster? If so, what toppings would be your deal breaker? If not, what can a pizza monster do to change your mind? Pizza monster. Well, I've been vegan for like 2 years, so I guess any deal breaker would be like anything that hurts animals. Yeah. But why not? Okay, Han asks, your unique art style intrigues me. What brings you inspiration? In times when you lack motivation, how do you get yourself back on track? How did you / do you currently discover the style and feel of your art to match the current you? This is a really good question because this is something that I've definitely been struggling with. Even recently, I still don't feel like the majority of the things that I put out are aligned with like what I want to be or who I am, I guess. But what brings me the most inspiration? Definitely being outside in nature, fairies, mythical things, fantasy things, witches, magic. That brings me the most inspiration. When I lack motivation, I sort of end up stopping doing things, which is why I end up posting like very sporadically on here, which is something I wish to change. I really want to be regularly uploading, like weekly at least. But yeah, when I lack motivation, I sort of shut down. But then to get out of it, I make a lot of lists. Floofy wig. Yeah, I make a lot of lists, and I give myself rest until I feel motivated again. But yeah, I make a lot of lists of like things and ideas that I might have that I want to do that I just don't feel ready to execute, or things like that. How do I discover my style and feel of my art to match the current you? Okay, so for this question, I would say just being unapologetically whatever comes to my mind, like dressing up in costumes and just whatever catches my eye and whatever I'm drawn to. I try not to think too much about like, oh, is this too weird, or are people gonna like this, or are people gonna think I'm strange or whatever. I just sort of do what I feel like I want to do, and that's sort of how I discover my own style, is sort of by not fitting in to any sort of thing that exists already, which I guess is pretty hard to do because I do like going off on tangents, but I do like to follow trends as well, but not really very much. I just like pick and choose the things that I like best, put it all together. Another thing that actually really helps me discover my just sort of cultivate my aesthetic is has been making lists of a bunch of adjectives. Basically I wrote down a bunch of moods and colors and things that I feel like describe me best. So I wrote all of the colors I would like to represent me, moods, and sort of creating visual boards. I use Pinterest a lot, and yeah, stuff like that. Just creating vision boards and lists helps me a lot. Helps me stay organized and on track. Alright. Thank you guys for asking these awesome questions. Don asks, where do you like living better, Europe or the US, and why? They're both completely different, and I like them both for different reasons, I guess. I haven't really lived in much of Europe or much of the US, so only in New York and Spain. So I can only give my opinion based on those two places. But right now I'm back in New York and I love it here. The winters are really harsh, which sucks, and I hate winter, which is why I would say sometimes I preferred living in Spain, because it was so warm and I lived by the beach and it was amazing. And what I missed about New York when I was living in Spain was I missed the trees. I missed the tall trees and the thick forest and all the green. So I think both places have their own magical things to them. One of my favorite things that I miss about Spain was sitting and eating breakfast outside and having coffee and looking at the water. That was definitely one of my favorite things to do. I like being outside better, so New York, I'm sort of cooped up all winter, hibernating, which makes me feel like I would say. Oh, another thing that's really cool about living in Europe is traveling to other European countries is so pretty cheap, and you can be in a place that's vastly different within a couple hours, and that amazes me. So I would definitely love to be back in Europe again at some point. Geraldine, I really hope I said your name right. Where did your nickname come from? So when I first started producing music, it was in 2013. I was going to college for a little bit, and one of my friends just came up to the table I was sitting at and just started saying Nature Flight, and I didn't know what he meant, and I was like, where did that come from? And he's like, I just thought of it. And so at the time I didn't have a name for my music yet, and I thought that sounded awesome, and I just really liked it. It really stuck with me. It felt like a really just cool thing, and no one else had it, so I took it. And I keep making my own definitions for it all the time. You can make your own definitions for it. Alright, Ken asks, you're a very spiritual person. Do you follow a religion, or is it more your own thing? It's definitely my own thing. I don't like to follow any sort of structured religion, and I do like to not really stick with any one thing either. I basically just go with what resonates with me the most. But I try not to get too wrapped up in it. I like being philosophical as well, and not being like believing too firmly in anything, because I don't really know anything. So I don't want to be like sticking to my guns about something that I don't actually know. So I'm always questioning things. I'm always like sort of philosophizing things in my head and questioning what I believe in and thinking about what I believe in and why do I believe that. And a lot of it just has to do with, it makes me feel good, it makes me feel something. For example, believing in fairies, like, I just do. There's really no logical explanation for it, and I can't see them. So even if they're not there, believing in them makes me feel happier and more connected to nature and myself. So why not, right? So keep pushing buttons. So that concludes my Q&A. Thank you guys on my Patreon, first of all, for just supporting me. Thank you so much for your support. It helps me so much, you have no idea. And I appreciate you with my entire heart, and I'm so grateful. And I hope that I'm able to give back to you guys enough. And thank you for asking these awesome questions. I will be doing another Q&A for next month, so I'll let you know when I have more questions. If you feel like joining me on Patreon and asking a question for next month, my Patreon is, I think I'll just link it below, yeah, in the description. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my new backyard, and I'm gonna go do some stuff, I guess. I love you all so much. Thank you for your support. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. It means the world to me. I can't believe I just hit 36k. Like, that's unreal. It's unreal. Like, I don't even know. Sorry that I don't post frequently enough. I'm working on it. And yeah, all I could say is thank you. And I love you. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you soon.